So let's start filling out the application form for London Business School. So what does it have? Like it has like multiple pages, and of course it has like multiple things to fill out. So when you look at page one, it's all about introduction, personal details, your home address, your contact preferences, etc. Okay. When you look at page two, right, it's going to be so the page one is like mostly personal stuff, which is not too much. So it's very easy, and you can see that this is what it contains, a lot of stuff. Make sure you're giving the right stuff and so on. So it's very easy. So I'm not going to bother too much time on it. Page two is the actual stuff. So where you look at your education, your professional qualifications, your academic performance till date, and of course your work experience, if any. All right. So in page two, what you will need to do is obviously write out for each and everything of it and make sure that you're giving like the right information. So again, this is not too complicated. The easiest way to fill this is keep all your mark sheets and transcripts in front of you. Okay, and definitely your resume in front of you, and of course open in this one in order to copy or paste any of the details that you might want. Okay, so do that quickly. You're done. And then comes the page three. So in here, right? So this is what I meant by London Business School. See, it will have a lot of these short answer questions which you're seeing right now. So look at this question. It says that, if applicable, please explain any reasons for your academic underperformance. So this is like an essay in itself. So you need to write this. And then the other thing will be like, have you ever got any kind of like formal disciplinary action, blah blah blah, etc. Okay, so this one is something that you might want to address as well, if at all it happened. But for majority of the students, nothing has happened like this, right? So these kind of short answer questions will take a little bit of time. Okay, but it's nothing like complicated, like, because if I had already told you, you know what to expect. And similarly for work experience, so any kind of work experience that you have not highlighted already on your CV, see, this can be the kind of work experience that you do for your family, for your other like as an entrepreneur, okay, or you took up in your free time, etc. So you can talk about any kind of like unpaid work experience that you do, which cannot be highlighted in this resume, right? So that's something you can talk about. And then please detail your plans for from now to the start of the program, detailing any further work experience, etc. So here they want like a detailed like understanding of what all the kind of like experiences that you have to date. Okay, so that part is sorted. GRE GMAT is a super easy part, to be very honest. It takes the longest time to prepare though, but it's the easiest part in terms of uploading. All you have to do is just tell them how many times you took the test, if at all, when did you retake it or whatever, and then give them the scores. Now, when you look at GMAT, right, here you will see that they're asking you to write the score and the percentile. Okay, and then like the score and the percentile for many sections. And of course, you know, this is a straightforward easy peasy calculation, the same thing for any of the other tests. Okay, so far we already done with almost four of the things. Okay, and then comes the other aspects, like, which are very tricky. Example, this is why I told you, what are your post and MIM goals? So they'll ask you like, which industry are you looking to work in? I'm going to work in e-commerce. What is the job function are you aiming? I would want to go in for brand marketing for Amazon. Okay, and then tell us about which country do you hope to work in after graduation. I will say London, obviously, because of UK, or I could say even mainland Europe or anything. And then they'll say like, in 300 words or less, please describe your post-program career goals, telling us which sector, which role, and which function do you want to go. This is where I say I want to work for Amazon in the role of a brand manager, and in their performance marketing division. Okay, so that, like that, I can tell. So this is where your essays start coming in. These are not even essays, to be very honest, but they are in the sense that 300 words, right? So you could still call them that. And they are not even like called out as separate essays. So that is why MIM application takes a long time. If you guys know, you have to write many short essays like these, and then talk about it. See, many a time I ask you for what is your alternative, no? So like that, they will also ask you about what is your alternative goal. If you don't want to become a brand manager at Amazon, what will you do? I can then probably say that, you know what, I will take up marketing at L'Oreal. Okay, and then so on and so forth. Okay, so be very careful in terms of addressing these so-called short answer questions, because these are the ones that actually get you in as well. The 300 words is still a big essay comparatively speaking, so you might want to use it. All right. Similarly, like your hobbies, interest, and then how will your previous experience enable you to adapt to the school's diverse and international community, and then extra, etc. Okay, so all of these things you would want to fill out, and then make sure that thing is there. Now, see, any school in the world might ask you this in order to do competitive research. So they want to know if you're a person applying to LBS, are you applying to Cambridge Judge and Oxford Said also, or are you considering HEC Paris, INSEAD, and then or like St. Gallen, or are you considering IMD Copenhagen? What are you considering? So they want to know this so that they can understand your thought process and the way that you have selected your schools. This is why research about schools is so important. Okay. And then comes the most important stuff, which is like how are you going to finance your studies? And you can easily see that you have, all the options that are given there. Please note that any application that you're typically applying with, you will automatically be considered for some of the scholarships. Example, the departmental scholarships, the what the university gives. Okay. But then you might also have like an external scholarship. See, example is I had a couple KC Mahindra winners. They won the KC Mahindra scholarship. Then there was another person who won the Narottam Sikh Saria scholarship. Definitely one more person whom we helped for the MBA program who had done the Stanford Dhirubhai, Reliance program, right? So the scholarship that it comes with it. So they had opted for that, and so on and so forth. So it's always possible for you to finance your studies, and you need to know how you're going to do it through the combination that's possible. I have had very few candidates who got sponsored by the companies. That number has dwindled a lot. Companies have become very smart, or I should say unsmart. They're not investing in their employees. They should know. And the London Business School scholarships can be many, right? So, for example, look at this. You have student clubs, you have women in business, you have out in business, partners club, black in business, etc. So, depending on your gender or ethnicity or race or anything else, you might have an option of getting a scholarship. Okay, so you would want to like definitely try doing it. And then after all this work, finally, you will say, we get to the essays. And you know what? The essays are so simple. All you have to do is just upload them as a document. And you'll be like, what? That's it? Yeah, so actually, the essays and everything else doesn't take too long at all. In terms of uploading, downloading, whatever, right? That doesn't take too long. It takes the longest time to write it. And here's why. Uh, you are, you will also be asked for interview locations and other things across the world. Please note that, some of it is like pre-COVID, some of it is post-COVID. Nowadays, that since a lot of things are opened up, a lot of the London Business School will always do it through alumni who have already gone through the program. So you can like list down like which city do you want to go and get into. All right. Now, see, that's what, right? Many of the things have gone virtual, but there is a possibility for people to do it face to face as well. So depending on your particular preference, you can do it. See, if you're living in Mumbai, do not give so far-flung places like elsewhere unless you're going to spend the money to go there and meet the person in person, right? Most of the time, schools are very kind enough to put you in the same city like an alum. So, example, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, for sure, there are so many LBS alumni, okay, out here. So they will like put you on this. For example, you're in a state like in a city like Vijayawada, for example, then you might have to travel to say I don't know Hyderabad or other places and all that. Okay, so if you're in a tier two city, maybe if there are not alumni involved, then ultimately they might do like a virtual interviews as well. Okay, and so you will pay the application fee, but as I told you, some of the events give you like an access and then do it. Now see this by far is my favorite part of every application is a declaration, because if you work with Career Labs, we can tell you that we don't do any work for you. We work with you very closely in order to help you arrive at the answer for yourself, meaning like the essay, meaning like your documents, anything, but we don't write it for you. So see, for example, that any of the work that you're doing or anything else, right? You're telling that it's all mine, okay? And that's one of the most important things which you need to maintain. So this is very easily done. with Karelas because we are all into like making sure that ethics is maintained and so on. So you also have like something else to do with diversity, inclusion, like a DEI, and mostly like all these different things that you're having. Disability clauses also for those who need it.